here we go, is paper 1 section A, Ancient India, module 9, which is early state and society in Eastern India, Deccan and South India. So in the previous session we discussed the history, the socio-economic, political, cultural history of this North India. Now we are into the early state and society in Eastern India, in Deccan and in the South India. Okay. So some keywords, what all things you have to take care when you study this particular module. Yes, we must have a case study of these achievements, failures, contributions, etc. of Kharavela. He is the ruler of the East. He is the ruler of the East, or he is the ruler of this Odisha, or let's say Kalinga state. What was the state? Kalinga state. We better know him by Hathigumba inscriptions. You remember? Hathigumba inscriptions, Sudagiri, cave inscriptions, etc. and sculptures, etc. So Kharavela, that is first important keyword you have to notice here. Yes, the Kalinga ruler and the Kalinga state, society, his administration, his contributions, his strategies, etc. Now the Shatavahanas, when we cover the Deccan, when we cover the Deccan India, we have to go for the Shatavahanas. Okay, Shatavahanas, they're popular. Yes, Brahminical culture, their feudal setup, their economy, their society, their administration, those things we have to cover. Okay, Shatavahanas, history of the Deccan rulers, Shatavahanas. Then deep south, let's go for, yes, coming to the south part, let's go for, yes, the Sangam, Cholachera, Pandya rulers. Sangam, yes, the Tamil states of the Sangam age. Tamil states of the Sangam age, let's say, there is Cholas are there, Pandyas are there, and Cheras are there. Sangam, Chola, Chera, Pandyas, the socio-economic, political, cultural history of the Sangam, Chola, Chera, Pandyas, which we learned from the Sangam literature and corroborated by archaeological evidences and other sources. Roman sources are there, other like Ashokan inscriptions are there, Hathigumba inscriptions are there. There are some other contemporary sources which also talk about this South Indian rulers, or this earliest South history, which is Sangam history. This is mostly, roughly speaking, constituted between 300 BC to 300 AD. But according to the recent archaeological excavations, this is older than this 300 BC. Okay. So Sangam age ne kurichu, adinte socio-economic, political, cultural, religious aspects ne kurichu namukku information theruna pradhanappetta source ennu parayunnathu തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും try to understand, which is Sangam literature, which is Sangam literature. Okay, so here you cover, when you cover the Sangam age, you have to cover administration cover cheyanam. The administration, the economy, the land grants, the coinage system, the trade guilds, urban centers, Buddhist centers, yes, Sangam literature, how they talk about these institutions, these practices, yes, and the culture part. Okay, the art and culture part. These are the things we have to cover in this module. In fact, there are different historians and historiography when you check, different accounts about the Sangam, society, polity, economy, culture and the state system, etc., which we will discuss. So this is the first important part. Yes, നമ്മൾ എന്തിനിത് പഠിക്കണം എന്നതിനെക്കുറിച്ച് നമുക്കൊരു ധാരണയുണ്ടായിരിക്കണം. ശരിയല്ലേ? ഒരു പൈനാപ്പിൾ ജ്യൂസ് കുടിക്കുമ്പോഴും നമ്മൾ ചിന്തിക്കാറുണ്ട്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ചിലപ്പോൾ ചില ഡോക്ടേഴ്സ് സജസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യും ഇന്ന ഡയറ്റ്, ഇന്ന ഫുഡ്, ഇന്ന ഐറ്റംസ്, അതെന്തിനു വേണ്ടിയാണ് എന്നുള്ളതിനെക്കുറിച്ച് നമുക്ക് ഏകദേശ ധാരണയുണ്ടായിരിക്കണം. ശരിയല്ലേ? So obviously here ഈ മൊഡ്യൂൾ എന്തിനു പഠിക്കണം എന്നുള്ളതിനെക്കുറിച്ചുള്ള ധാരണയുണ്ടായിരിക്കണം. യെസ്, അതിന് നമ്മളെ സഹായിക്കുന്ന മറ്റൊരു പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട എലമെൻ്റ് ആണ്, first of all, understanding the keywords. Second thing is, obviously, you must go for the previous year's questions. How the questions being asked from this particular module, which will give you a crystal idea where to focus in this module. In fact, ഇങ്ങനെ തന്നെയാണ് ഹിസ്റ്ററി ഓപ്ഷണൽ എല്ലാ മൊഡ്യൂൾസിനെ അപ്രോച്ച് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. നിങ്ങൾ കഴിഞ്ഞ വർഷങ്ങളിലൊക്കെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ് നോക്കിയാൽ മനസ്സിലാവും, core areas are there in each module and your focus must be in those core areas. Am I right? Yes. There is a question, justify Pliny's statement the Rome was being drained out of gold by India during the first century of the Christian era. You see, there was a ever flourished trade system in which, the balance of payment was always in favor of India. Am I right? The balance of trade, balance of payment, we see there is a huge trade system between India and the Roman Empire, India and Southeast Asia, and that trade was always in favor of Indian merchants and traders, because you imagine, yes, you are giving the spices, what you get in back? Yes, the precious metals and diamonds, golds, etc. Okay, a ship full of the spices to Rome and a ship full of the gold to India. You imagine? Okay, so that the balance of payment always in favor of these Indian traders, Indian merchants. Am I right? Yes, their Pliny's statement is Rome was drained out of its gold by India during 1st century of the Christian era. So you have to analyze the characteristics or the nature of this India's trade with the Roman Empire. Okay, how much it was in favor of this Indian economy, or how much it was in favor of India, or how it drained this gold out of Roman Empire. Okay, you have to cover it. See, there is not only does ancient Tamil literature furnish an accurate picture of widely disparate class, it also describes the social conditions of Tamil country as it was. So there was a question which is about this ancient trade. Am I right? Am I right? There was a keyword, it was trade. The trade system, you must cover the inland trade and this overseas trade. Okay, the external internal trade system you have to cover. Then there is a question which is about the society, about the social classes, about the social divisions, about the social institutions, about the social practices. So understanding the society, understanding the Sangam society asked, so there can be a question about the Kalinga society, there can be a question about Shatavahana society. Okay, so you must understand what was the picture of, what was the nature of the society, what was the nature of, or what was the salient features of the society during the Sangam age. Got it? Then you see, trace the role of guilds and trade organizations in the development of early Indian economy. Yes, we go for the role of the guild. Guild system. You must have an idea what are the roles played by guild. Guild acted as, court of justice. It acted as Reserve Bank of India. Okay, it acted as what is called a trade union. Okay, it settled the disputes between these merchants, traders. Then it fixed the prices, the laws, the taxes. You see, different functions the guild or the Shrenis had in the ancient times. You must go for the different functions or the roles of the guilds or Shrenis which played in ancient times. You have to cover, You might have seen that some guild are so powerful, so sovereign that they minted coins by themselves. They issued coins by themselves. Am I right? Yes. So you must know the role played by guilds in the trade system, in the socio-political or cultural sphere or spectrum. What kind of the role played by guild, which you have to cover very well. Now see, the discovery of the monsoon by Hippolus give a new direction to Indo-Roman trade during Shatavahana's age. Again the question is repeated. You remember? The trade question is again repeated. Discuss the salient features of cultural traditions of South India as reflected in Sangam literature. Discuss the salient features of cultural traditions of South India as reflected in Sangam literature. So you will have to explore the salient features of the cultural traditions of South India as it is mentioned in this Sangam literature. So you must know how the Sangam literature talk about the political system of South India, economic system of South India, social system of South India, religious system of South India, cultural system of South India, or art forms of the South India during that particular age. Am I right? So these are all things what you are supposed to cover. You are supposed to cover from this particular module. Which module? Which module? Yeah, this is from the 9th module. Okay, early history of the East, Deccan and the South. Yeah, it's 300 BC to 300 AD. But recent, Kiradi excavations, all prove that it is even these Sangam artifacts belonging to 600 BC also being discovered. Okay, so many historians believe it is older than the prescribed age. Yes, yes, yes. This is. You see that this is not a post-Maurya. You see that it went up to post-Maurya. You see that 300 BC started from 300 BC, went up to that 300 AD. Okay, fine, all of you. So once again, let me tell you a few things. When you study this, what all things you have to focus. Let me tell you. One thing is, you must cover the historiography. Or simple, the diverse approaches and views on the history of South, Deccan and East. You must know the history of this Kalinga, the history of this Shadavahana, the history of the Sangam. When you cover the history, you try to understand, we must go for society, we must go for economy, we must go for religion and culture, we must go for polity, we must go for yes, what is the next thing we must go for? Shruti, I said socio-economic, religious, culture, political angles. Then what are the next? What all next things we have to cover? Religious culture is there. Then art, architecture, literature, all I put under this culture part. Then yeah, this is again very important for UPSC. Women is very important. Okay, you must go for what was the history of society, economy, religion, culture, polity, status of women. Also, നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യേണ്ടത് yes, what was the continuity and change. ഈ കാലഘട്ടം പഴയ കാലഘട്ടത്തെ അപേക്ഷിച്ച് ഇവരുടെ സോക്കോൾഡ് സോഷ്യൽ എക്കണോമിക് പൊളിറ്റിക്കൽ കൾച്ചറൽ ലൈഫിൽ എന്തെല്ലാം സ്ഥിരതയുണ്ടായിരുന്നു, എന്തെല്ലാം മാറ്റങ്ങൾ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇന്നത്തെ മോഡേൺ യുഗമായിട്ട് കമ്പയർ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ അന്നുണ്ടായിരുന്ന ഇൻസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷൻസ്, പ്രാക്ടീസസ്, ആചാരങ്ങൾ, അനുഷ്ഠാനങ്ങൾ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അവിടുത്തെ സോഷ്യൽ ഇൻസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷൻസ് എക്സെട്ര അത് എത്രത്തോളം ഇന്നും കണ്ടിന്യൂ ചെയ്യപ്പെടുന്നു അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മാറ്റപ്പെട്ടിരിക്കുന്നു, ഇത് നിങ്ങൾ എക്സ്പ്ലോർ ചെയ്തിരിക്കണം. യു ഗോട്ട് ഇറ്റ്? ഫൈൻ. Another important thing you have to cover is various evidences here. Evidences and the relevance. Evidences and the relevance which you have to cover. Then from map point of view, you just focus on the very popular sites. When I say some popular capital cities of the Sangam rulers, or when I said some important educational centers during Kalinga or Karavela's rule in the Kalinga state, when I say some cultural centers in the Shadavahana dynasty, I must know the popular locations of those sites here. That is also very important. Okay. Is this over, all of you? All of you done this? Okay. Because sides, you know that sides also it's important for us, because in paper 1 we have 20 questions into 2.5 and 50 marks. Plain map or political map or physical map, the sides are marked with the clues. You have to identify and write a short description on the identified site. Am I right? Objective question. So here, covering all these modules, along with each we will cover the important sites also. Aisa hona chahiye. Now let's start with this guild system. Let's start with the guild system. What are the duties, functions, role of this guild system in ancient times? Guild played a very crucial role in ancient times. What are the roles played by these guilds? Just look into this. Ancient guild, each point is important for you. Guild, more or less acted as a democratic government. One point. It acted as more or less kind of a democratic government. It was a trade union. It was a trade union. It was a court of justice. It was a court of justice, and it was a technological institution. It was a technological institution. So just look into this, multiple functions played by, different functions played by these ancient Indian guilds, It acted as a democratic government, or it functioned as a democratic government. Yes, a trade union, a court of justice, because it is settled the disputes between guilds or between merchants or maybe merchants associations, etc. Okay, or among the members, etc. So acted as more or less kind of a democratic government, a trade union or a court of justice, and as a technological institution. Technological institution. Different functions played. Sometimes it acted as a RBI also. RBI, or it is acted as an IMF also. Okay, let me tell you, it provided, yes, credit facilities to these traders, merchants, etc. Okay, so they acted as this bank, they functioned as a bank sector or bank also. Now you see, raw materials for manufacturing, they fixed the quality of the raw material for manufacturing. Okay, they assessed the quality of the raw material for manufacturing. They controlled the quality of manufactured goods and prices. Okay, fixing the prices, checking the inflation, okay, checking the hyperinflation, and fixing the prices of these raw materials, and fixing the prices of the finished products, and the taxes, and even these locating markets, These are different functions played by, what? In the functions play ചെയ്യുന്നതാണ്? Yes, these are functions played by, functions played by or functions done by? നിങ്ങൾ പറയൂ. Guild or Shrenis, they are Shrenis or guilds. Okay, take care. Yes, they will fix the quality of the raw material for manufacturing. They will fix the prices for these goods, manufactured goods, and they will locate the markets for this, selling of the products. Okay, again you say, may I change this? May I change this? Romila Thapar, according to Romila Thapar's view, you see, these guilds, what she suggests is, guilds or Shrenis, yes, their history begins in the early Buddhist age. It begins in the early Buddhist age. They continued through the Mauryan age. That means from the mid of the 6th century BC, the history of the guild started here. Or maybe the trade unions, started flourishing or started, emerging from the mid of the 6th century BC onwards. Then you see that it continued through this Mauryan age. Why this Mauryan age was, it had a strong sound finance backup. One of the reason is, it's ever-growing trade, both internal, external trade. And reason for its prosperous trade is, of course, there is existence of these guilds. There is existence of the guilds. Even this is supported by, yes, Megasthenes, or this, what is called Pliny's account, Strabo's account, Justin's account, and different, not me, Justin, other Justin historian is there. So different historians stated that, in their accounts it was stated that, yes, the guild system, Shrenis were so powerful and they controlled the markets, they fixed market regulations and the prices of the commodities, even they settled disputes among the merchants and traders, different guild and different trade unions for different like manufacturers, traders, workers, etc. Okay, so that existence of powerful guilds, that also a reason for this ever flourishing prosperous trade in India. Am I right? Yes. Now look into the three chief requisites necessary for the rise of a guild system. ഗിൽഡ് സിസ്റ്റത്തിന് വേണ്ട അടിസ്ഥാനപരമായിട്ടുള്ള മൂന്ന് കാര്യങ്ങൾ എന്തൊക്കെയാണ്? അടിസ്ഥാനപരമായിട്ടുള്ള മൂന്ന് കാര്യങ്ങൾ എന്തൊക്കെയാണ്? Look into that. Localization of occupation. Localization of occupation. There is hereditary character of the professions. Idea of guild leader or jetaga was a widely accepted one. So three concepts are there. You see, three chief requisites necessary for the rise of guild system. And the three things which is necessary for the rise of guild system, one is localization of the occupation. Localization of occupation, and the occupation has to be there for many years. Okay, people are familiar with that, and it has a market. Okay, it has a manufacturing hub. Localization of occupation, hereditary character of professions, idea of a leader, jetaga, okay, or jetaga, that concept is also an accepted one. So these are the three requisites for rise of a guild system in ancient Indian context. You understood this? Understood this? Shall I change? Got it? Then this, na? Fine. Again coming to this guild, more characteristics of this guild, because this was already asked in the previous paper. Now you see, each guild, each shreni has its own professional code. It has its own professional code. It has its own working arrangements, its own duties and obligations, even religious observances. Then cobblers guild is there, oil millers guild is there, potters guild is there, weavers guild is there, hydraulic engineers guild is there, cobblers guild is there. Different guilds existed here. Different guilds existed. It had its own professional code, its own working arrangements, and its own duties, obligations, and rules and regulations, etc. Okay. So these guild systems were so strong. That is why, let me tell you, there was ever growing powerful trade system which existed in these centuries from mid of the 6th century BC to almost 300 BC 300 AD, 400 AD, there is powerful existence of these guild systems. Cobblers guild, cobblers trade union. Okay, when the UPC is asking about how the guild system powerful, or how it laid a foundation to a very strong economy, or a very strong, like what is called a state system, you must say that what are the different roles played by the guilds. Okay. Guild structure is like this. If it is a 250 marks question, you have to write in detail about the guilds. Okay. You see, the structure is like this. It has a general assembly, it has a guild chairman or the head, and it has executive officers. So three organs are there for every guild. There is, yes, a general assembly, there is a guild chairman or the head, and there is executive officers. Now see, Sethis were merchant come bankers and often headed merchant guilds. Even this legacy continued to modern times also. Sethis are powerful, guilds or merchant, Yes, merchant come bankers, they even existed in this 18th centuries also. Okay. So the thing is like, yes, these guilds in certain areas, where there is absence of a strong monarchy, you can see that guilds were so powerful, even they acted as the head of the state, even they issued currencies also, regulated currency also. Okay. Optional. Ah, optional is again a big gap is there. Not today, 24th or something. Yes, yes. There is a gap. There is a gap. Now the functions of the guilds. Just have a look at this. The the basic functions of the guilds. You see, it has the administrative functions. It has the administrative functions. It has the economic functions, charitable functions, banking functions. They loaned money to artisans and merchants. Yes, sometimes sometimes you can see that the guilds that took initiatives in the ecological or maybe disaster management also, or famine relief policies also. You see that to alleviate distress and undertook works of pity and charity as matters of duty. Part of their profits for preservation and maintenance of assembly halls, watersheds, shrines, tanks and gardens and widows and the poor and destitute. So, ഇതിന് മറ്റൊരു ഡയമെൻഷൻ കൂടിയുണ്ട്, മറ്റൊരു തലം കൂടിയുണ്ട്. യെസ്, ദിസ് ഗിൽഡ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് മെർച്ചൻസ് അസോസിയേഷൻസും ട്രേഡ് യൂണിയൻസും ബാങ്കിങ് സിസ്റ്റം ക്രെഡിറ്റ് ഫെസിലിറ്റീസ് കൊടുക്കുന്നവരും ഡിസ്പ്യൂട്ട്സ് സെറ്റിൽ ചെയ്യുന്നവരും മാത്രമായിരുന്നില്ല. ഗിൽഡ് ഓൾസോ യു ട്രൈ ടു അണ്ടർസ്റ്റാൻഡ് ദാറ്റ് യെസ് ദേ ഓൾസോ ഫോക്കസ്ഡ് ഓൺ ദീസ് വൾണറബിൾ സെക്ഷൻസ് ഓഫ് ദ or they were concerned about the vulnerable marginal sections of the society also. Part of their profit is preserved for maintenance of these assembly halls, watersheds, shrines, tanks, gardens and for widows and for the poor and destitute. Okay, so that way let's say that yes, it is equivalent with a miniature state system, am I right? Yes, kind of a democratic government. It functioned, even it looked after the vulnerable sections of society. I hope you completed this part. Okay, yes. So that concept is over. The guild system, you must know different functions played by the guild. Okay, now let's get into yes, the earliest history of Eastern India. Yes, the Karavela, the Kalinga history. Yeah. Ah. Ah. Okay, what do you say? Ah. Sure. You can have a comparative analysis with the cooperatives. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Now coming to the history of the Kalinga, the history of the Kharavela. Let's have a look into this. Middle of this 1st century BC, Kalinga state flourished under this Kharavela. Kalinga state flourished under this Kharavela. Okay, Kharavela is a popular ruler and also he is a great patron of this Jainism. He is a great patron of Jainism. He is known for his extensive military conquests. Also known for his, yes, the so-called sound state system. Okay, known for his administration. Is known for his administration, known for his neighborhood policies. Okay, now see, yes, he is regarded as the descendant of this Mahamega Vahana, and Chedi belongs to Chedi dynasty. Kalinga state, ruled by Chedi dynasty. Kharavela belongs to Chedi dynasty. Now see, there is one inscription which is Hathigumba inscriptions. You see that the different inscriptions talk about different states here. For example, we know that Aihol inscription is talking about. Aihol inscription is talking about. Yeah, Aihol is about that Chalukyas. We know that Pulagation II's victory over this which ruler? Harshavardhana. Okay. Then there is Allahabad pillar inscriptions that talk about. Yes, Praya Prashasti, Allahabad pillar inscriptions talk about. Samudragupta is there. Jahangir is there. Ashoka? Yes, Ashoka is there. Uttaramerur inscriptions talking about. the imperial Cholas, you know. Nasik inscription talking about Shadavahanas. Am I right? So there are different inscriptions, you know, different Iran inscriptions talking about Chandragupta II, the Vikramaditya, you see, Gupta ruler. So here, Hathiguba inscriptions, you know, they give you lots of informations about this Kalinga ruler Kharavela, his extensive military conquests, his foreign policies, neighborhood policies, and his administrative policies, etc. He was a great patron of art and architecture also. Yes, he adopted the title Kalinga Chakravarti. Kalinga Chakravarti, or this, you know, the ultimate king. So this thing is something you imagine that maybe Chakravarti title or this Rajadi Raja titles, which all indicate that maybe there existed the feudal lords. Feudal lords or these minor kings to establish authority over these minor kings, you know. Yes, they adopted these titles like Rajadi Raja or Chakravarti, Maharaja, etc. Now see, Kharavela was a Jain follower, he was a Jain. Then successful campaigns he led in various directions, and he is known for his extensive military conquests. One of the reasons for his success is always, yes, he had very strong war elephants here. War elephants. Probably this was the reason why many of the Greeks being defeated by Indians. We could see that even Alexander wished to go to this eastern side and attack these Magadans, you know. Soldiers, rejected because of the fear of these war elephants. So one reason for his success is his army is equipped with the war elephants. Army is equipped with the war elephants. And they had a strong relationship, I mean trade relations with this Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia, the Suvarna Bhumi. Okay. Even that, yes, that profitable trade also added to the material prosperity of the state. That added to the material and cultural prosperity of the state. Okay. Yes, you can write down the points, the core points you can write down. Yes, how the fact goes like this. This is all about these achievements of this Kalinga ruler Kharavela. Okay, his achievements. Please write down. So, you written this? Just look into this. This man is known for loads of military conquests, you know, military expeditions, etc. And all the information we collect from these Hathigumba inscriptions. Hathigumba inscriptions, that is in the Brahmi script. That is in the Brahmi script. A scripture pratibadikadunde, he, you know, led these wars against, he led wars against this Magadha. Okay, Magadha, against Shadavahanas, against Indo-Greeks, against this Shangas. So, you know, he went deep south as south as these Pandyans, you know. So, let's say that he is known for many of his military expeditions. The capital of this Mushik that was destroyed, that is to support this Kaspa Kshatriyas. Then conquered south Masulipatanam, destroyed the fort this Gautagiri. King of the Western Deccan occupied Rajagriha to the north and conquered this Magadha. So you see, just in the south, in the Deccan, in the north, in the west, all the way he is, you know, leading these military expeditions. Yes, the Greeks in the northwest was defeated. Yes, overrun parts of this Pandyan kingdom in the south. So be it west, be it northwest, be it south, be it center, you could see that he is known for spending or sending these military expeditions to all directions and defeated many rulers. Other rulers accepted. For example, Pushyamitra Sangha. Pushyamitra Sangha accepted his sovereignty or his sovereignty accepted. Okay. So many of the neighbor rulers accepted his sovereignty. Many states were conquered by him. Yes, he is known for his very successful military expeditions, which is discussed in these Hathigumba inscriptions. Which inscriptions here? Hathigumba inscriptions. Yes. Mahavijay Prasad on both sides of River Prachi, extensive conquests in the west, south and north and northwest, multi-political, because of which, he built a very strong and very huge like Kalinga state. And, you see that the Hathigumba inscriptions, they provide the testimony to the vigor and vitality of this Kalinga people. So you imagine that this is a man who is known for his, we study this Ashoka the Great, we study this Samudragupta the Great, okay, we study that, what is his name, that last Magadhan ruler? Last Magadhan ruler. Dhanananda. So there are lots of rulers known for their extensive military expeditions and thereby expansion of the kingdoms. He is also such a ruler. Through military expeditions, he expanded his kingdom. And Kalinga was a huge state, and it had a trade relations with Thailand. It had a trade relations with Sri Lanka. It had a trade relations with Thailand. It had a trade relations with Burma. It had trade relations with Nepal. It had trade relations with China. You see that, yes, this state is, militarily so strong, politically so strong, and commercially you can see that, yes, it had an upper edge over this maritime trade. Okay, it had strong navy, it had a strong shipping industry, and of course, it had a very profitable maritime trade system with the Southeast Asia, that further added to the material cultural prosperity of the state. And fundamentally, he is religiously tolerant but a patron of this Jainism. So Jainism flourished during his age. Okay, Jainism flourished during his age. Okay, this we were following, na? Yes. So known for, yes, construction of the gateways, the forts, okay, palaces, marvelous structures. Mahavijay Prasad on both sides of Prachi, which is a testimony to his victories, his achievements. Okay, similar way, he has conquered in all directions and established a very strong political state of India. And Kalinga state is regarded as an ideal form of ancient monarchy. It is regarded as an ideal form of ancient monarchy. Towers, gates, walls of the forts were repaired and rebuilt. Embankments were constructed, remitted taxes and cesses in the 6th year of his reign. So you see that this is, the ruler is known for his absolute monarchy, is a man known for his powerful state system, and the state functioned very smoothly during his reign. Okay, you see, built lots of massive structures, towers, gates and walls of the forts. They were built, repaired and rebuilt, and there are many embankments constructed. Yes, that is, he is a people-friendly ruler, or maybe he is a ruler who is committed to welfare state. Am I right? A ruler who is committed to welfare state and the prosperity of the people. Am I right? Or welfare of the people. Then there is remission of the taxes. Yes, that you imagine that the people, they were supposed to pay taxes. Sometimes you can see that when the state is so powerful and rich, financially sound, you could see that some concessions will be provided to the people with regard to these tax remissions. You see that? So you see, state is so powerful, state is so strong, there is a very strong taxation system, and the ruler is known for, on various occasions, like a ruler is known for giving concessions to people and taking care of these tax concessions to people and taking care of these welfare policies for the state and people. You all done this? All of you? Sorry? It's taxes and cesses being remitted. Okay. So this is a testimonial. Take care. In the 6th year of his reign, the taxes and the cesses being excused, or it is remitted. Okay. that is the material prosperity of the state, that is the personality of the ruler, etc. is reflected. Says. That is a spelling error, says. So he is a man known for, this is an ideal monarchy state, is known for lavish expenditure on public works. Okay, a person who took care of the people, lavish expenditure on public works, especially public infrastructure, public amenities, agriculture, irrigation, public roads, transport. Okay, in all areas he lavishly spent. Versatile pattern of this culture of Kalinga. Hathigumba inscriptions, give you a very detailed, account about his patronage for this art, literature and architecture. It's a pattern of dance, music and artistic performances. Okay, so the state is known for, see, a state is regarded as, prosperous, peaceful, inclusive and welfare concerned when the patrons equally give importance to these so-called art forms. Okay, so that's again an opinion presented by the historian. അത് സത്യം പറഞ്ഞാൽ ശരിയല്ലേ? ഒന്ന് ആലോചിച്ച് നോക്കുക, ഒരു സ്റ്റേറ്റ് ഭയങ്കര, നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എപ്പോഴായിരിക്കും പാട്ട് പാടാൻ തോന്നുന്നത്? വീണ, സപ്പോസ് നമ്മൾ ടെൻഷൻ അടിച്ച് പണ്ടാരടങ്ങിയിരിക്കുമ്പോഴത്തേക്കും നമ്മൾ പാട്ട് പാടുമോ, ഡാൻസ് കളിക്കുമോ? നമ്മൾ ഭയങ്കര ഹാപ്പി ആയിട്ടിരിക്കുമ്പോഴായിരിക്കും ഡാൻസ് കളിക്കാനും പാട്ട് പാടാനും സിനിമയ്ക്ക് പോകാനൊക്കെ തോന്നുന്നത്, ശരിയല്ലേ? So the state is so prosperous, so people follow the rules, and again you see the ruler is patronizing various performing arts and art forms, dance, music, traditions, etc. All of you done? Done? Yes, please note down. These are very much essential, then only you can establish the fact that he was a great ruler. He also patronized this art and music and these performing arts, etc. So these are the value additions here. When I say that this Kalinga ruler, Kadavela, patronized these art forms, you just see its reflections here. Yes, Daba or acrobatism, Nata or dance, Gita, songs, Vadita, instrumental music, flourished in the state. Utsava, festivals and Samaja, social gatherings. Okay, all are discussed in Hathigumba inscription. We collected the information from Hathigumba inscriptions. Okay, Udayagiri hills, that is Bhubaneswar. Then say Karavela Charita, inscribed in the Hathigumba inscription. Great Victory Palace or this Mahavijaya Prasada built in this Kalinga Nagari. So all these massive constructions and patronage to this dance, music, literature, etc. Yes, all are the best examples, to prove that he was a ruler of or a king of this great success. Am I right? Yes. That when you have an analysis on the contributions of this Kalinga ruler Karavela, you can cover these aspects which is taken from Hathigumba inscriptions. Okay. Udayagiri cave is also known for its excellent sculptures. Yeah. Now why this? Why this Kalinga ruler Karavela's reign is important for you? Why this is significant for you? Do you have any answer for that? Why this age is significant for you? Yes, phase of political disintegration effectively revived the political tendency Chakravarti monarch. You see that after the decline of the Mauryan Empire, across the Indian subcontinent we faced this political fragmentation. Am I right? Political fragmentation, decentralization, then rise of these small feudal states or maybe smaller kingdoms. Okay, smaller kingdoms. So why this Kalinga phase is important, Karavela's phase is important? In the face of this political disintegration, this is the Kalinga state which revived the political tendency, the strong, yes, a centralized authoritarian state, that legacy of the monarchy, powerful monarchy, that concept is revived by this Kalinga state under this Karavela. That's why his reign is significant. Yes, and he is significant because you see, known for the military expeditions in all directions. From Madurai in the far north to Pandya territory in the far south, from eastern sea to the western sea. So this man is known for his extensive military expeditions in all the directions, and he maintained a very powerful army, navy, war elephants, etc. And that is also a reason why he becomes successful in his military expeditions. Okay, then see Rajasuya ceremony. Rajasuya ceremony is always held under the royal patronage. You see that this is to establish the sovereignty of the ruler. This is to establish the sovereignty of the ruler. Okay, Ashwamedha, Rajasuya, different royal sacrifices are there to proclaim his sovereignty. Now attempted a bigger political empire to uphold the traditional virtue of a powerful state or powerful monarchy. So this man is important because മറ്റുള്ള എന്താ പറയുക അതേ സമയത്ത് തന്നെ മറ്റുള്ളവർത്തൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ കാണുന്ന പൊളിറ്റിക്കൽ ഫ്രാഗ്മെൻറ്റേഷനും ഫോർമേഷൻ ഓഫ് ചെറിയ കിങ്ഡംസ് ആണെങ്കിൽ ഇവിടെ നമുക്ക് കാണാൻ പറ്റും മൗര്യൻസിൻ്റെ ഡിക്ലൈന് ശേഷം വളരെ സ്ട്രോങ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള സെൻട്രലൈസ്ഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു എംപയർ അദ്ദേഹം എസ്റ്റാബ്ലിഷ് ചെയ്തു, അതിനെ പിടിച്ചു നിർത്തി എന്നുള്ളതാണ് അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ സക്സസ്സും. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെയാണ് അദ്ദേഹം ഹിസ്റ്ററിയിൽ വളരെ പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട ഒരു എപ്പിസോഡായിട്ട് മാറുന്നത്. Yes, look into this. His victory over Indo-Greeks, that is something very significant because here he is portrayed as a national hero. As a national hero because his fight is against a foreigner, a foreign invader. That way he is a national hero. He is a national hero. I mean, his fight is, you see that it is to save his motherland from the foreign invaders. Then see, yes, he conquered this Madura, and you could see that what he done is, instead of plundering the people of the Madura, what he done is like yes, it is said that the inscription says that what he done is liberated the people instead of plunder. Okay, once he conquered Madura, it is not like he plundered the people, but he liberated the people from that, yes, the so-called oppressive rule. So that way he is a national hero, that way he is a purest statesman. Okay, so that is also something discussed in the inscriptions. Then he patronized Jainism, even though he is religiously tolerant, please take care, patronized Jainism and liberated the sacred city of Madura, opened, from these invaders and from the foreigners, etc., opened the city to Jain pilgrims coming from all parts of India. So he is known as a liberator, he is known as a savior, and the city is open to all these Jain pilgrims. And again you can see that he is planting this tree, a sacred Kalpa tree to Kalinga in a spectacular procession, veneration to that Kalpa. So he took that Jain image and this tree to, yes, Kalinga, okay, and installed there. That also indicates he is a great patron of this Jainism. He is a great patron of Jainism. So anyway, you see, in the cultural aspect, in the social aspect, in the political aspect, in the administration aspect, in the strategic part, all the way you can see this guy is known for his achievements, he is known for his known for his right policies, right reforms, right actions. Okay, so that guy Karavela, the Kalinga ruler, is significant because of his social, political, cultural, religious actions. Okay. So this is the way you have to analyze this man. He is religiously tolerant, tolerant to all religions. He is a soldier, he is a strategist, he is a militarist, he is a servant, he is a learned man. He is a learned man, he is a talented man, he is a conqueror, he is an administrator, he is a king, he is a sage, and a fine specimen of our culture. Whose culture? This Kalinga's culture. Okay. So let's say that these are the words given for ആരെ എക്സ്പ്ലെയിൻ ചെയ്യാനുള്ള വേർഡ്സ് ആണ് ഈ കരവേല കലിംഗ റൂളറെ നമുക്ക് എക്സ്പ്ലെയിൻ ചെയ്യാനുള്ള ചില അഡ്ജക്റ്റീവ്സ് ആണ്. സി ഹീസ് എ സോൾജർ, ഹീസ് എ ലേൺഡ് ടാലന്റഡ് മാൻ, ഹീസ് എ കോൺഗറർ, ഹീസ് ആൻ അഡ്മിനിസ്ട്രേറ്റർ, ഹീസ് എ കിങ്, ഹീസ് എ സേജ്.